Dr. Alex, as we're dealing with startup business files, and we hear from our clients about intra-company transfers more and more often, and people think that it's something they need in order to immigrate to Canada faster, easier, and cheaper. Is that true?
Well, the answer to all three questions is no. First of all, it's not immigration program itself. Therefore, whatever people do, it's all temporary. And cheaper, it's questionable because people definitely have to understand that they have to open the business. If it's private enterprise, they have to hire people and they have to go through all these verification cycles, which have no, I guess, end in mind, because there is no immigration included in intra-company transferee program.
Could you please provide some kind of benefits, economic benefits for Canada?
Well, that's a good question, because definition of economic benefits for Canada is part of ICT exemption. And when we're talking about exemption, Government of Canada giving those exemptions to those who can provide economic benefits. Economic benefits usually include employment for Canadians, a rental of actual physical space, and definitely profit and taxes that Canada can collect here in Canada.
And it's usually what people fail to prove, right?
Oh, it's hard to prove, because you have to build a business, you have to establish operation, and you actually have to pay salary, and you actually have to hire Canadians. So it's not that easy to imagine how people present it with ICT, and that's why we see it as very, very suspicious what's going on the market right now.
Okay, so the creation business overseas and maintenance of that business outside of Canada is not helpful?
Well, it's helpful if it's connected to the business in Canada, but by itself, it's not helpful at all. But you have to do that, because intra-company transferee is always related to both companies. That's why it's called intra-company, overseas branch and current headquarter, or vice versa. So definitely when people present it with this opportunity, what we call it, they have to be very mindful about what's going on really and what they have to do.
What about traceable banking operation of the Canadian businesses?
Very good question. And the reason it's very good, because many people treat their private business account as their own pocket, as their own business account. But Government of Canada definitely will review all transactions, and if they're not falling under category of business expenses, people will face some trouble. Same goes with taxation, same goes with income extraction, and definitely we go in with numerous problems for people when they come into us and saying, well, I'm already on the hook with CRA, with IRCC, with CBSA, because if you pretend and it's not your authentic program, then you definitely have to watch very carefully.
And on the other hand, people usually say that profit can cover expenses, and there is no need for significant investments. Is that true?
No, absolutely not. And the reason I'm kind of smile about it, because basically people misled dearly about this. They say, no, don't invest much money, show whatever you have, maybe $100,000, maybe invest $100,000, and you will make money, and that profit will be shown as source of coverage for salary, for rent, for this. That's virtually impossible. To have startup company already operating and very fast moving forward with profits and sales and everything, it's almost impossible to imagine these days. So Government of Canada is not stupid. That's what we say all the time. They have experienced experts. They absolutely going through federal court appeal cases, and they understand the requirements and they understand the consequences when people just naively present themselves as sufficient financially, but in fact they don't have money to even pay themselves salary. So it's not true.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to management functions, for those who plan to arrive on ICT work permits, do they need some kind of management core?
Well, I guess they have to manage, by definition of the ICT, they have to possess specialized knowledge or special talents in terms of management and running the company, maybe oversee some special unique operation. Management, if it's part of the deal, comes with the package of people who you need to manage. If you have no one to manage, how can you prove that you have management skills implemented on the ground in Canada? There is no way. So people sometimes don't read what we call, don't see the forest behind the trees. They see fast transfer to Canada, possibly, but then you're in this legal limbo because, first of all, this is not immigration program, and second, you have to prove everything you say, and you have no people to manage. How can you prove your management skills?
That's true.
Yeah, that's true.
It seems that program ICT is not very easy and kind of questionable for immigration path, like for people to come to Canada.
It is questionable because, like, for example, we definitely deal with this program because we have corporate clients having, let's say, branches or subsidiaries overseas, and they want to bring some key personnel or some people with, like I said, specialized knowledge. And definitely when they come to Canada, they have to work on the same company under the same umbrella, and that's why it's called intra-company transfer. So when people naively think that this is immigration, no, being in Canada is not being immigrant. It's a non-resident visa, it's a temporary visa, and should be treated as such.
Okay, thank you so much for your answers.
Thank you. Thank you very much for good questions.